So War Tycoon, just like any other game, has its fair share of issues which do need some kind of fixing, but also they need to be doing some kind of very important updates which could pretty much just fix the game in almost every single way. So in today's video, guys, I'll be talking about the top 5 most important updates in my opinion that we need to receive into War Tycoon that could really change the experience and make it just feel so much better. So anyway, let's just jump right into it, and the top 5 is not really going to be based on what I think is needed most. I'm just going to be giving you guys a list of 5. So anyway, let's just jump in. So the first thing which I believe that should be changed is the fact that the weapons shouldn't all have a very similar sound. For example, I have to show you guys the assault rifle. So let's go with the G36C. As you guys can hear the sound, we go for another weapon which does have a kind of like a rework sound of the previous one. Then we go into the MCX Spirit, which is similar to the G36C, and then the L11A rifle, which pretty much is just very similar, if not the same, than most of these rifles that we do have in the game. So I would actually like to have some kind of more sound effects added into the game for every single weapon that you guys use. For example, the difference that we have over here, and let's go into the M40 and the Remington MSR. Let's go ahead and show you guys these sounds. So this makes this sound, and then the Remington makes a completely different sound. So basically what I'm asking for is I would really like to see every single weapon kind of have a different and unique sound. So because of course sounds do make a very big difference in the game, and playing without sounds is also very difficult because it's kind of hard to tell what are you actually being shot at with, since the sounds are all pretty much the same. Now, following up to this point, I also do think that the same change should be made for vehicles and etc. For example, let me go ahead and show you guys something like the Guardian. Whenever you guys do hear it drive, as you can see over here, and then when we do go ahead and go into a different vehicle, as you guys can see, even with the Boxer itself, the sound kind of feels recycled, and it doesn't feel like it's something special because the vehicle doesn't have a really different sound than the previous one. And I believe this to matter so much because pretty much every single vehicle that we do have in this game does make different sounds in real life. It also has different engines and etc. So I believe that every sound for every vehicle should be much different, which would just make the experience once more even more fun because we would actually understand our environment better. So the next one of the updates which I do believe that should be added into the game is a whole entire PvP revamp to pretty much just change the whole entire meta, but just to make it super balanced. For example, assault rifles right now are kind of in the middle of the meta and etc. And the sniper rifles at close range are pretty much the top of the meta because you could pretty much just headshot your enemy and they're pretty much done. So that just pretty much puts you into like a gap of skill where some players that you guys are going to be playing will pretty much have absolutely no chance against you because they don't understand the meta and they're not that good at actually using something that works better than the other. So pretty much I believe that every single weapon in this game should have its own uses, or they could also add pro servers, or add let's say if you guys are 10 rebirth and above or something, then you would be put into a pro server. Let's say when you're 30 rebirth and above, you'll be put into an even better server, and when you're low rebirth, let's say 5 to 7 or something, then you'll be putting into like a medium server and etc. This could easily be fixed by kind of adding pro servers, medium servers and etc. because right now the PvP is kind of difficult to actually comprehend for a lot of people, and really most people do not understand it this well, and some weapons are just way better than the other. So next up over here, what I would like to actually request the developers to do is add vehicle types. For example, we have ourselves the M1 Abrams over here, which is just the ordinary M1 Abrams, but in reality we don't really know which Abrams this actually is because this vehicle and even tank itself does have so many types, so it's actually really hard to tell which Abrams I am using. For example, there is the M1A2 Abrams, which is just a different version of the Abrams, which is like an upgraded one, for example. So basically what I'd like to see is kind of have upgradable vehicles or just different vehicle types. Those will very much help out into making the game even more fun and just more randomized. So the next update which I believe that should be added and is very much needed to be added is more defense system for tanks against planes, missiles, or even any types of missiles at all, which would of course lead to the point of adding something like the APS. For example, guys, the smoke has been patched quite a while ago, and now pretty much if you guys do have some missiles that are just being fired at you, the smoke will be able to pretty much block maybe 1 or 2 and stop them from attacking you, and then the rest of the missiles will pretty much just follow behind you, and the only way you could actually get get around the missiles, and the only way that you guys could actually just get around the missiles is just camping in the smoke the whole entire time and just praying that nobody is going to be firing missiles into the smoke itself, because people could just do that without locking on and you're just gonna take just as much damage, if not more. Anyway, I really do hope that the balance between tanks and plane combat will be fixed at some point, because right now pretty much for the planes it's so easy to actually kill the tanks with missiles, and for the tanks it's so easy to pretty much kill the planes with the cannon itself. So really I would like to see some changes to this PvP system so air and ground are fully balanced. And now the final thing which I believe that should be changed and needs to be implemented into the game as soon as possible is changing the render distance and actually fixing it. For example guys, the planes are able to lock on, let's say the F-45 is able to lock on for like 2000 stats, but that doesn't really help out in any way, shape or form for the fact that you guys are not really going to be able to lock onto someone from 2000 stats if the render distance just doesn't load in. And it's even not about the PCs, like sometimes when I would like to even attack this bridge, it loads in so late, for example, and it's just so annoying. Let's say we are chasing a vehicle, it just gets out of our render distance and etc. And the next thing that I would like to be followed up to this player experience change is to fix the hit registration system. For example, the way I would actually like to code the hit registration system, and let's say I am headshotting an opponent, they actually see it on the screen that a freaking headshot went through their head, but in reality it doesn't actually land and it doesn't do the damage. So I would like to see that fixed, because right now it is kind of annoying. Even for playing with assault rifles, people could pretty much just eat your bullets and they just end up not taking any damage. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys in today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below what top 5 you'd like to see next, or what other things you think that should be changed or updates that we need to see in the game. Anyway, I'll see you guys next video. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks so much to all my channel members.